She was the most malicious housemaid in history, ruthless and heartless, a woman who could kill without a second thought. The elderly people she cared for never survived more than 7 days under her watch. Within a single year, she murdered 8 elderly people in cold blood. She even boasted, "It's different when I take care of them. I won't let them live too long. Whether they last a day or 2, that's up to me. It's all under my control." What drove this ignorant and vicious woman to commit such inhumane acts? On December 13, 2014, Ms. Liang from Nansha District, Guangzhou City, visited a domestic service company to find a housemaid for her elderly mother-in-law, who had mobility issues. Ms. Liang was a busy professional, and despite her workload, she still cared for her family's well-being, a testament to her filial piety. Unfortunately, her good intentions led her to place her mother-in-law in the hands of a demon. At the company, a staff member named He Tianai noticed Ms. Liang and took the initiative to recommend herself for the job. Ms. Liang, impressed by He's modest appearance, neat attire, elegant demeanor, and polite speech, quickly decided to hire her. However, He Tianai made a strange request. She insisted that regardless of whether the elderly person passed away unexpectedly or if she was dismissed early for any reason, her full monthly wage must still be paid. Ms. Liang found this request unsettling and, feeling offended, responded by saying that her mother-in-law was only having trouble walking but was otherwise in good health, accusing He of cursing her. Sensing Ms. Liang's anger, he quickly explained that it was an industry rule to prevent future disputes. Although the explanation made some sense, Ms. Liang let it go, unaware that this very clause hid sinister intentions. That afternoon, He Tianai moved into Ms. Liang's home with a large suitcase. For the first 2 days, he appeared diligent and professional, even getting up at night to adjust the elderly woman's blankets. Ms. Liang's family was pleased with her work, and even the elderly woman praised her. However, on the 3rd day, Ms. Liang received a phone call from He, who informed her that her mother-in-law had passed away. While the family was overwhelmed with grief, he audaciously demanded to be paid her full monthly wage. This move infuriated Ms. Liang, who began to sense that something was wrong. Her mother-in-law had been in relatively good health, and yearly checkups had never revealed any serious issues. How could she die so suddenly after just 3 days in the maid's care? Ms. Liang felt that something wasn't right. While preparing the body for the funeral, she also noticed that her mother-in-law's gold bracelet and necklace were missing. Enraged, she confronted He and demanded the return of the missing items, but he denied seeing them and refused to allow her to check her luggage. As tensions escalated, Ms. Liang decided to call the police. Even then, He Tianai continued to deny everything. When the police arrived, he went as far as accusing the family of withholding her wages and falsely accusing her of theft. Ms. Liang was shocked to discover that the seemingly honest and unassuming he was capable of such deceit. However, the police weren't fooled. After hearing both sides of the story, they inspected He's luggage, and what they found exposed her true nature. Not only were the missing gold items recovered, but also ropes, syringes, and a bottle of the toxic pesticide dichlorvos. Suspicious of the elderly woman's cause of death, the police examined the body and found that it had already begun to turn black, with blood pooling around the hips. The officers suspected that this was more than just theft and immediately detained He. An autopsy later revealed that the elderly woman had been poisoned, with toxins found in her body, needle marks on her skin, and deep ligature marks on her neck. Under scientific interrogation, He quickly confessed to her crimes, and her statement left even the experienced officers shuddering. "You don't know how annoying it is to care for sick old people. I only did it for the money. It's such hard work, and at the end of the month, you only get about 2,000 yuan. But now that the old woman is dead, I've only worked a few days and can still collect a full month's wage so fast." At 4 a.m. on December 16, He Tianai had mixed dichlorvos into a meat soup, waking the elderly woman and trying to coax her into drinking it. However, the woman, not used to eating at night, only took a small sip. He then used a syringe to inject the poisonous soup directly into her body, causing her to fall unconscious. After that, he stole the woman's gold jewelry. When she noticed that the elderly woman was still faintly breathing, he grabbed a rope and strangled her until she stopped. Through a night of interrogation, the police learned that over the course of a year, he had harmed 10 elderly people, 8 of whom had died. The first victim was an 82-year-old woman, whom he poisoned with a mixture of sleeping pills and rat poison on the 4th day of her employment. Luckily, the family found her in time, and doctors diagnosed her with a stroke. Afterward, he resigned and took a job caring for a 100-year-old person, whom she strangled with a rope on the 3rd day of her employment. Due to the victim's advanced age, the family didn't suspect anything and even paid He her full month's wage. Encouraged by her success, he grew bolder, reasoning that it was better to work a few days for a month's pay rather than a full month. Her killing spree went unnoticed until she was caught stealing jewelry from Ms. Liang's mother-in-law, finally revealing her murderous ways. Justice eventually caught up with He, And on May 4, 2016, the Guangzhou Intermediate People's Court sentenced her to death, with the sentence carried out immediately. Though this heartless killer was brought to justice, the lives of 8 elderly people could never be returned. The moral of the story: always be cautious when hiring a housemaid.